Right, you join me back in my shed. I've just rewired all my solar system, and I think it looks a bit tighter than it was. The Bluetooth dongle's up there. I can just receive that from the front of the house. It's only supposed to be 10 metre range, and sometimes I've got to go into the kitchen to use it, but I can still get a reading. Anyway, so we've got the solar coming in, a breaker there, and then the battery there. I haven't got anything going to the load yet. That's going to be for the radios and whatnot. We've got the little control panel thing for the charge controller. Victron Phoenix 800 watt pure sine wave inverter. Also on a breaker. That goes into a kilowatt hour meter. Breaker switch, trip switch. And then that goes into this plug socket here, 13 amp socket, so I can see how much I clock up in time. We haven't actually turned it on yet, so we're about to see if something explodes. I've turned all the breakers on. I've turned that on at the switch. I've gone into the Bluetooth and turned it on. So the Bluetooth is blinking away up there. So now when I turn this on, either this is going to explode, that's going to explode, that might explode, and these will probably just go up and smoke. But if it works, there'll be a green light on there. It blinks red when there's power coming out of it. So that's a good sign. We've got a green light and no explosion. We'll close that for added protection against the shrapnel. And now when I turn that on, yeah, oh, and the tablet's on, because I've got my USB hub at the back plugged in to charge my tablet and keyboard. Right, so that's all working. So now I can see what power I'm actually using from these sockets, and this obviously goes in and out of the house sometimes. I lent it to a friend the other week, so this will be permanently running so I can permanently see, and then wherever this gets took around here, then everywhere, or the internal battery goes flat, I've still got an analog reading. I'm a big fan of analog meters. Got one there, got another one there. It's a volt meter and an amp meter. I might get a shunt and put that in just because I like them. So that's the solar system up and running now. So we'll play safe. We'll turn that off first. Plug in the living room of the house. Now the living room socket. Oh, see this, you've got to look at it with a funny angle. There you go, 31, should be 36 watts. My laptop's plugged in the house. I suppose it's not switched on. So I'm pulling 30 watts from the solar system now from the house. And that's going to clock up the power that we use in the house. But I might turn it off at the moment, because this has been switched off all day, and get it some charge in here. And then what I've done before, I've had to reset it today, but that kicks on at 14 volts when the battery's fully charged and turns off at 12.4, so I don't kill the battery. So any extra power when the batteries are full, the inverter kicks in and it will dump it to the house and charge up whatever I've got plugged in here. And then when the sun goes down, the inverter turns off and my battery's still full, so I can use the radios. Good God, man, I'm a genius. Right, the little bit of black tape's just to remind me which way the air flows, because I always forget, because sometimes I take the cover off and turn it around. And I forget which way the air flows. Alright, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next update when the fire brigade get here. Just a little update. We've got, can we focus, 3.8 amps coming in from the sun, but the MPPT is boosting up to 4.4 amps from 3.9. 15 volts, but open circuit, that's going to be, I know, we'll turn the panel off, turn it back on. 21 volts We did have it running at 48 volts, 40 something volts in series, but it went back to parallel. There we go, the battery's holding at 13.3, 13.4, so we're charging the battery while we're pulling 30 amps. 30 amps is coming out to the house and a couple of amps coming in here, charging this. We're at 30% on the old tablet. 13.4. Still got 4.2 amps coming in from the MPPT. It's boosting it from 3.8. Slight hum from the inverter. Green light's on. Again, that blinks red every time that clicks another digit. Oh yeah, that's what we're going to do. Right, 47 watts we're pulling now. 47 watts we're pulling. And if I push down 4 times, got 55 watts coming in. 3.8 amps coming in, 14 volts. So I had to video this and look what I'm doing. So 55 watts coming in and 47 going out. It's not too bad. So we're charging the battery and supplying power and charging devices. It's not even summer yet. Right, another little update. We've just wired up a bus bar. Everything coming out of its fuse. I've got the 10 amp blade fuse there going to this 4-way 12 volt adapter. And then 2 amp that black box. Black box is on a remote for the shed lights. This hangs up by the door, so when I leave I can just push the button and turn the lights off, and when I come in I just turn them on, and that just hangs on a nail by the door. Right, so now we've got radios working. Yeah. Right, just been to town and back. Made myself a brew. Money a mug. Try and turn it around without spilling it. It's not a Jeep, it's a Land Rover. Right, laptop said 20 minutes till charged, 98%, and we're now pulling 18.8 watts. So I'm guessing the laptop takes less power the more the battery's charged. It's very cloudy today. So it takes about an hour and a half to charge the laptop. The battery lasts about 5.5 hours if I'm just watching films, YouTube, like streaming. Sun comes up above next door's house about 10:30. It's midday now, and then by about 4 o'clock it's starting to go behind a tree, so I only get 4.5, 5 hours of daylight this time of year between the clouds. That's why I'm going to up the solar panels at the end of the month when I get paid. Been playing with the system for a while, and now I definitely know I need another panel just to get that to the maximum it can handle. 120 watts that can handle. Again, massive difference going to MPPT from PWM. I like that one because it's got a screen and tells you everything on the screen. This one's you've got to cycle through it, which is why I got this for the display. But I've just found out this is 20 amp, so I can put 200 watts in there, so I might put a 200 watt panel up and use that and keep that for like a go box camping or something. But yeah, it's nice to know that's a 20 amps. No, it's a bit later on the day. It's just gone 10 o'clock and the battery was 12.6. It's just dropped down to 12.5 volts. So that's done exactly what I want it to do. In the day, lunchtime, this battery's fully charged, 14 volts. So about lunchtime or whenever the battery's full, the inverter kicks in, sends the power to the house. So I've charged my laptop today, battery bank and a couple of other things, and then it's turned off because I'm not using it or the battery's gone too low. The battery got down to 12.2, but as I said, I think by lunchtime everything was charged in the house, and the inverter kicked off, and then it charged back up to 12.6. And I've just... So yeah, so the idea is, so it doesn't drain the battery, I can still come out here in the evening. I normally work till midnight, but I'm off work today. So I can still come out here, use the radio for a couple of hours. So I can use the tablet for QRZ and whatnot, without worrying that the house has drained all the power and the battery area is flat. Failing that, if we have a power cut, then I can go on the app, turn the inverter on, and then what's left of in here will go back in the house. But we've got a light out box, and we use laptops and obviously tablets, which are always charged. There we go. Yeah, I've just come out and realised I've got to put in the thermometer for the battery. Just going to chuck that down there by the battery and plug it into here. But yeah, my birthday next week, a couple of weeks, I don't know, next week. And I think I'm going to buy myself another 40 watt panel, because I've got two 40 watt panels on there at the moment, give me 80 watts. This can handle 120 watts. So like I said, it's only the baby. So if I add another 40 to the 80, that gives me 120 watts. That could be a little bit more power, charge the battery a bit quicker. And failing that, this is 20 amps, sorry. I think I said it watts earlier instead of amps as well. So I can put 200 watts through here. And I can always add this, because it's safe to use two charge controllers. Just get one to turn off before the other one. I can put 200 watts into the battery on top of the 120 watts. So we'll see how much I get paid at the end of the month, depending on what I'm going to buy myself for birthday. But I'm definitely going to be buying myself some solar panels to go with what I've got. Now the system's up and running. As I said, small system, 80 watt panel, 110 amp hour leisure battery. But it's enough to, like I said, put some power in the house for the day, use the radios at night, and still have enough left, you know, if we have a blackout. Right, I'm going to completely blind myself now by the... Oh yeah, the light's on in here. Didn't show it earlier, but it's a metre long USB light, and it's freaking bright. That's why it's behind me. Yeah, we'll catch you on the next video. That's a little update of the solar shed, solar shack, solar QRP shack, off-grid shack. 10 amp charge controller, 800 watt pure sine wave inverter, bits and bobs, and we have power. And I can't get back far enough to get it in shot. Catch you on the next video. And added bonus, my daughter passed her driving test today. I don't normally mention family stuff on the YouTube channel, politics, religion, or anything like that. But happy dad moment today. Really happy. Tiny person number 2. My son passed a few years ago, obviously. He's a bit older. But yeah, my baby girl, Jenny little, passed the driving test. So yeah, just going to quickly mention that. I'm well happy, over the moon. She has watched some of my videos in the past and stalks me a little bit online. So just want to say that, yeah, I am chuffed and happy. But obviously I knew she was going to pass anyway.